Latitude is just how close your city or your country is near
to the
equator. Hello guys! Hi! Welcome to our channel. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about weather and climate. So what is weather and what is climate? So weather is the short period of time of changes in the atmosphere. As in changes in the atmosphere. If you don't know what the atmosphere is, it's just a thick cloud of oxygen and other gases
on top of the earth.
Please watch our gases video and our air video, please. So,
continuing with our topic,
weather is just the changes in the atmosphere in a short period of time. Just like it's raining and then suddenly the sun jumps out. That's normal, isn't it, for some places, but it's really unnormal for some places.
Like the weather forecast said today that it will be a very snowy day in the United States and Canada. You lived in the United States. You ran out to play with the snow, seeing that it was a very hot day.
Sometimes the weather forecast can be wrong. Most of the time is just because that we are doing guess, as in how the weather will be. It's called the weather forecast, and the weather is not constant. The weather keeps changing. It's not constant. It can't be sunny the whole year without one rainy day. It's just impossible for weather to stay in one position. But then there's climate. Climate is just little weather times joined together to make climate. The climate of a place is not if there's rain, if there's snow, you say it's rainy, snowy, that's the climate of here. No. The type of weather that is most common. Let's just take Yemen or the UAE. Their climate is hot, but their weather is not constant, is it? No. Sometimes it just dribbles rain a little. So, next about climate is that it just chooses one thing. If there's majority of hot days in one particular place, that place is considered that their climate is hot. If there's lots of cold days, their climate is cold.
There's a saying, climate is what you expect, weather is what you get.
That's just to understand. It's just like climate is telling you to put rainy clothes for rain and clothes for snow and also for sunny days. But weather is telling you to put on the sunny clothes for all the sun that you're gonna get.
So that's an example to make it more easier for you to understand.
So climate can go millions and centuries, years into the past in the weather. But there's people who can study that. People who study climate are called meteorologists.
Meteorologists give the weather tellers on the weather forecast TV what they should tell to you. So sometimes when it's fake, it's because of their predicting maybe that will be what will be happening tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
That's why they only predict 1 week after. They can't tell you 2 years after. No. So next time you're traveling to a place, don't look at the weather forecast and tell you that today in Florida it will be a very sunny day.
Because it might be just raining or having a hurricane like normally.
So you have to always look at the climate not the weather. The weather is not constant, as we just told you. So let's just say some experiences that you can have when you're dealing with weather and climate. Sometimes, see how this is working. Let's just say that in our boxing realm, people are boxing and they are falling to the side most of the time. Then, what is the most possible idea? Stretch the rings to make sure that the people will not fall too hard on the ground.
Or you make more security for the ring so the people won't fall so often.
That's just how we are doing it. So what does that mean? When the weather changes constantly, we get used to it, don't we? So let's just say that it's raining all the time in one particular place, and then the people start building houses that make sure that the rain stops sinking into their walls. Isn't that getting used to it? That's another way that meteorologists help the world than for weather forecasts. Sometimes they tell engineers and architects how to build houses for the sustain of the climate of this place. Let's just say that there's lots of hurricanes. The meteorologists will tell the architects and the engineers that they should build houses or make materials that can be strong enough not to be blown by the tornadoes and the hurricanes.
So that's how meteorologists help the architects to go and build your house from being destroyed by the horrible tornado or hurricane.
So that's another way how these people help. Then the next thing about weather and climate is that climate is changing. You know climate change? Please, we watch other videos about climate change. They will be very helpful.
So now glaciers in Greenland and Antarctica are now melting and then making oceans larger. Until they can't hold it, they go into rivers. The rivers can't hold it. It floods the area.
And coastal areas might go underwater. So we have to stop global warming. Stop global warming.
And also pollution, that is also very bad and bad for climate.
Please watch our water cycle video and our air video to understand more about pollution of the water and pollution of the air.
So now we have learned that there's climate change and that we should stop that climate change.
So, and then the next thing that we're going to be talking about, we'll be focusing more on weather now, because weather is the interesting topic. So, first we have known the definition of weather. Let's say it together. Weather is the atmospheric change during a short period of time. And then what is climate? Climate is connections of different types of weather to make a chain that only one of them is bigger than the other. So if a place has more cold days than hot days, that place's climate is cold.
And if a place has more hot days than cold days, then that climate there is hot.
Then more to weather again. Weather is not constant. Weather keeps changing. It could be a rainy day, and then when you go inside to sleep, and then when you wake up the next day, it is sunny. But last night it was very cold and it was raining. What happened? It was weather not staying in one form.
So we have learnt that weather is not constant.
Another thing is that the people who study weather are called meteorologists, and they can help us know the weather forecast, and also they help architects and engineers know what type of wood or what type of stone to make your house out of, so that your house will be strong to the type of weather inside this place.
So there's many types of weather, and here are where you can find them. So let's take, for example, when we are going to the tropics, where you can like a vacation. Let's use the example of Central African Republic. So let's use that example of Central African Republic. So it's in the tropic zone, meaning that it has a very, very happy climate, and it's very good for a good vacation. Another place in Africa that is good for an example is South Sudan. It's also in the tropic zone, but to its north it's in those arid zones that is another word for hot. And there's also Republic of the Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and also Democratic Republic of the Congo that actually is in the tropic zone, in the southern zone, or it's near the Antarctic zone due to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa, and they are only separated by a small part of ocean from Antarctica, so they are cold. So the southern part of DRC is cold. The northern part is tropical. The eastern part is still tropical. The western part is cold, and the central part is still tropical. So it's in two different zones, the cold zone and the tropical zone.
So next is arid. Arid is just another way of saying hot or desert. When you think of the desert, you think hot, don't you? That's what arid means.
So here are some examples of arid countries. So let's use Egypt as an example, and also Saudi Arabia, Libya, Tunisia.
Let's just say all the North and West African countries, some parts of them are arid. And then almost all of the Middle East. We call all those places arid.
Due to that, they have so many deserts. But Saudi Arabia has some green areas, but in a very small amount.
So when we say arid, we don't mean it's very hot that you're gonna die. No. When we mean arid, we just say it's hot. We don't say it's very hot. We just say it's hot. And there's some deserts there.
Like the Sahara Desert that is in Africa, that touches some West and North African countries.
And then, now let's go to the next category, temperate.
So the temperate zones are also Capricorn zones, and here are examples inside the Capricorn zones or the temperate zones. So there's India, or the southern part of India. Then there is Nepal, and also Nepal, Bhutan, and also Myanmar or Burma, Bangladesh, and Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines. After that, also Vietnam, Laos, Taiwan,
and many others. But there's not lots of African countries here. There's only tips of Tunisia, Morocco,
Algeria,
and are the rest of them.
So those are some examples of the countries inside those temperate zones.
Next is
The polar or the Arctic and Antarctic zones respectively. So there's Antarctica and many southern parts of and northern parts of countries that include southern part of South America that are Argentina and Chile's most bottomest parts, South Africa only, not Lesotho and Eswatini, those parts are left out. They are near the sides that are not very cold. After that, the southern part of Australia, southern. After that, Tasmania, it's an island of Australia, and the most southernest part of Australia. The southern part of New Zealand, yes, there's 2 islands of New Zealand. The island of Tonga, Tuvalu, and also Fiji.
Let's just say most of the oceanian countries.
And now we go to our favorite part in the Antarctic zone, Antarctica. And then we go to that Arctic zone. And it has many northern part of countries. Many are Nordic, but some are not. So there's the Arctic archipelago of Canada. And Denmark has a huge island named Greenland, so it's in that area. But not respectively that is countries inside the ocean. No. It's a little country on top of Germany. So after that, there's the northern part of Norway. After that, there's the northern part of Sweden, the northern part of Russia. Some parts of Finland escape Norway's protection and then becomes the northern part of Finland that is near the Arctic, the northern part of Iceland, and those are the countries in the Arctic respectively that are half parts of countries.
So that's all that we hear. Those are just the major types of weather, but there's more weather types. Now, climate. Sunny weather, rainy weather, cloudy weather. Let's just say all the ones that have L's and the ones that you use mostly.
So we have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and ring the notification bell to watch more of our videos.
And bye guys, and have a happy day.